Now we've seen Descartes was the father of modern philosophy, and we now understand the prominent role John Locke and Thomas Hobbes played in philosophy. But Descartes got the ball rolling, and he got the ball rolling from an epistemological point of view, the point of view of theory of knowledge, that knowledge is ultimately based on reason. We can reason our way to the external world. And somebody who followed in this tradition, was Baruch or Benedict Spinoza. Now Spinoza lived in Holland, and he truly adopted the rationalist view, modeling knowledge or thinking of knowledge from a mathematical model. That is, how do you go about reasoning in mathematics? How do you go about finding out things about mathematics or proving things? You reason your way through it. You don't go out and get experience, rather you think about the concepts. And Spinoza really took Descartes' rationalistic idea of reasoning his way through things and trying to lay out the concepts in that, and he was very impressed with the geometrical model, how they prove things in geometry, and he did that with metaphysics. But ironically, it's a little strange, his metaphysics, or his great work of metaphysics, is called his ethics. And he really does metaphysics like geometry. He starts with a set of postulates like you would in geometry, a set of concepts, and from that he goes about proving all of the theorems of metaphysics. Very difficult to follow. But some of his views were that God is identical to nature, and Spinoza was a man of Jewish extraction, member of the Jewish community in Holland, and while Holland at that point was kind of a liberal country, somewhat tolerant of other religions, the Jewish community in Holland was a little bit concerned about having a member who was going to advance views, state views, argue for views that were very heretical, especially with regard to the church, and certainly this God as being the same thing as nature or as the universe was considered an heretical view, but it's something that he thought he was able to prove through geometry. Similarly, mind and body seem to be identical, and we'll talk about that when we get to mind-body problem. But the interesting view that he really had was on freedom. And freedom equals, by definition, is something that we'll see sometimes means the same thing as understanding that everything is predetermined. So when you understand the only freedom that you really have is you don't have a free will to act in the way you want, but rather you become free when you understand that your actions are really determined. Very paradoxical view, very interesting way of trying to defend his theories.